feel so like proper sitting in this like throne. Enhance. Enhance. Zoom. Thank God. This is gonna be a very polarizing video. I'm prepared for the possible backlash, but honestly, I know I'm in the right here. Whether you're a cook or not, I'm sure we've all spent enough time in the kitchen to understand the basic do's and don'ts of what really makes a good one. Which brings us to today's video, which is all about kitchen islands. Regardless of how big your room actually is, there is never enough space, and this is a fact. Recently, I read an article stating that kitchen islands are a thing of the past and becoming outdated, and let me tell you, like the fact that they labeled them as trendy made me rage. What do you even mean? Like, how can a kitchen island be dated? How can it be trendy? So I'm here today because we need to take a deep dive into this. So please let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because according to this article, this topic was pretty much split 50-50. This article even talked about double islands and the end of the Waterfall Edge. Let's just say I have words. Welcome back to my channel. If you have not met me before, I am Phoenix Gray, aka Design Daddy, and this channel is all about interior design. Regardless if you're renting or renovating, I'm here to help. You can also join my free newsletter in the description box below, where I answer all of the most commonly asked interior design questions that you may have. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Mr. Phoenix Gray, where you can see all my daily tips and tricks. While kitchen islands have been a staple in many homes for years, there are some indications that they might be losing their appeal in certain design circles. Certainly not in any circles that I run in, but I digress. One reason for this supposed change is a general shift towards living in smaller living spaces, and more homeowners are looking ways to adapt to this shift by seeking efficient layouts and maximizing functionality within their space, as limited as it may be. It makes sense with how insane the housing market is right now. Like, we're all supposed to be adapting to the shoeboxes we're being forced to live in, especially if you live in the city. Unless you live in Texas, in which case you probably have a 20-bedroom house, 20 bathrooms, and it probably cost you like, what, $500,000? Not that case in Toronto. We're looking at $1.5 million for 300 square feet. Additionally, some more recent design trends are favoring open concept kitchen layouts, where the absence of an island actually creates a seamless flow between the kitchen and the dining, as well as the living area. I get the intention. Like, yes, cutting out an island would free a whole bunch of space, but at what cost? Even as minimalism gains popularity, some homeowners prefer a clutter-free kitchen, and I get it. Eliminating that island allows for a cleaner aesthetic. But how clean is it really when you come home and you don't have anywhere to put all your grocery bags? You end up having to put on the floor or the stove or something else because you really have no surface to unpack them anymore. So let's be honest, because let's keep it practical. We need a kitchen island. Lastly, the evolving lifestyle and preferences, such as the rise of casual dining and on-the-go eating, especially with the new demographic of how people eat. I really feel like this contributes to that waning interest of the traditional kitchen islands, which I personally, once again, completely disagree. I personally think that people who are against them just don't cook, or honestly, just don't know how to cook. And that being someone that loves to be in the kitchen and actually cook, an island serves so many functions can no longer be categorized as a trend. They serve as the heart of the kitchen, offering multiple functionalities that make daily cooking and entertaining an absolute breeze, in my opinion. The idea that may sound tempting if you're in a cramped space, but when you really think about what you're giving up when you forfeit this staple of a kitchen necessity. The real beauty of a kitchen island lies in their adaptability and the versatility of use. You can find them in so many various styles, from the rustic farmhouse to sleek and modern contemporary. This flexibility allows you to choose designs that complement your kitchen and fit your personal taste. If your motivation for wanting to dump your island is that it's just not cute and it feels like an eyesore in your space, there are so many solutions to this that I'd sooner recommend upgrading your kitchen to something that you're actually proud of, rather than giving up on it and getting rid of it completely. If you are giving up on your island, give it to me, because honestly, I need it. My kitchen did not have one, so I've literally made a makeshift one just to have extra surface area in mine. Just look at these examples. Kitchen islands provide ample countertop space, which is perfect for meal preparation, serving, and even setting up a quick breakfast bar. They also offer additional storage for cabinets and/or drawers, helping you really keep your kitchen organized and clutter-free. It goes without saying that your kitchen island is probably one of the most used surfaces in your entire house for food preparation, sipping your coffee in the morning, your kids doing their homework, or something. I mean, I don't know. I don't have kids, so honestly, I'm just guessing at this. Beyond their practicality, kitchen islands are a fantastic social hub. They create a natural gathering spot for families and friends during meal times and even for meal prep, making it so much easier to share stories and bond in absolutely any social setting, regardless of what you're using that island for. Our kitchen islands have truly heard more spilled tea than any other space. Like, where are you supposed to gossip now? The laundry room? Like, it just wouldn't be the same. Now, you might be wondering if kitchen islands are still trendy or if they're fading away. Based on my personal observations and totally unbiased personal opinion, of course, I'd say that they are here to stay. While interior design trends may evolve, the popularity of the kitchen islands has remained consistent due to their function and the overall aesthetic benefits to your kitchen. They're more than just a pretty pit stop. They are the center of life in our kitchens and essentially our homes. In fact, as we look into the future, I personally predict that we're gonna see even more creative and innovative kitchen island designs. As homeowners seek to make the most of their space, designers will likely experiment with new materials, shapes, and even integrated technologies to further enhance the kitchen island and the experience that it provides. I personally think that there are certain styles of the kitchen island that are trendy. To this point in the article, there has been no such thing as overall function being trendy in any design. Like, how can you categorize a function as a trend? It just doesn't exist. It makes no sense. The newest trend in styles I noticed that I think is going to fade out soon is the introduction of curves, both along the side and the way of the waterfall as it comes down. I personally think it's stunning, but the introduction of curves into natural stone inflates the price by numbers that honestly you don't even want to look at. It's going to blow your budget. Like, you think it's here, it doesn't exist anymore. There are two ways to get a curve into a natural stone. One is if you buy a chunk and not the slab of the stone, and you actually have the CNC or a water jet, depending on the manufacturer, they actually do it to your exact specifications. This will cost you probably more than the house itself because you're paying for the literal chunk of the quarry and the transportation of thousands of tons. This is so expensive, but it does give you a completely seamless route. Option 2 is to buy the slab and the fabricators cut each piece individually into a certain width, no longer than the rectangular piece, and joining them together to create an almost like tambour-like piece of the smaller stones that fit together lengthwise, so the same patterns and veins carry throughout. The one thing that's super noticeable about this in the fabrication process is that you can see each individual seam if you're looking close enough, and it doesn't give you that seamless look. But once again, a much more affordable option. A testy topic while we're talking about kitchens has been the double island trend that has resurfaced. Oh God, I'm gonna give an eye roll for this one because I don't even know where to start here. Let's just say that if you have the space in your home for a double kitchen, then we are not anywhere close to the same tax bracket. I get the idea of wanting more surface space to prep and cook, but two, like Taylor Swift was lying, 2 is not better than 1 in this situation. Every time I see a celebrity home or a magazine featuring a kitchen with a double island, I automatically am envisioning an all-you-can-eat buffet or like a sit-down fast food hall where you're in a lineup. And honestly, it really takes away from the overall aesthetic of your design. And honestly, it makes it look like it's bigger than a garage, but that's just me. That was mean. I'm sorry. If you have a double island and you love it, that's great. But I need to know, how often are you using both of them? I feel like the only pro to having a double island would be that if you're entertaining and you have like, you know, an 8,000 square foot estate mansion and you have people coming into cooking and preparing for you, they need that extra space. But your guests cannot be facing you without being like a whole like pool length away from you. Your entire kitchen does not need to be surrounded by multiple islands. It makes no sense. I cannot tell you how many times I was chased around the island as a child, even though I got caught. If I had 2 though, I could probably weave and do like a full like figure 8 things. I feel like that's the only situation that kids would love it because they'd be untouchable. On the plus side, if you're a homebody and you don't get enough steps in, walking around these giant platforms in your home are sure to get your step count up. I've said some things, and honestly, I'm not really sorry about it, but we aren't done because there's one last controversial topic on kitchen islands, and it is really split down the middle 50-50 like these other two topics. Waterfall edges on the island, and I can only imagine half the people watching this just sighing as I said it or rolling their eyes in disgust. Ugh, whatever. We're gonna do a little breakdown here and determine if it's an actual trend or if it's gonna die off or if it's here to stay. While a standard countertop is simply a horizontal slab, the waterfall counter also has stone edges that drop down to the floor. The look is super luxurious, but sometimes requires much more stone than a traditional countertop can. Doing a waterfall edge can also easily eat up a kitchen renovation budget if you don't account for this at the beginning. Most impacts of surfaces, especially in your kitchen, are horizontal, and you can see why waterfall edges have been starting to gain popularity, especially if you have a beautiful impact stone that you really want to show off. Because if we're being honest here, if you're spending that much money on a natural stone, you best believe I'm going to put it everywhere I possibly can. Having the stone come down on both sides really helps protect the millwork from bumps and dings where you typically would notice it. With the style of this edge being much more modern, I don't see it going out of style anytime soon. But with this design, there are some things that are very trendy and they are a fad that will eventually go out of style, and I honestly think it comes down to the style of marble you choose. This is a cycle that keeps home renovation stores in business, and honestly, designers like myself. Shh, don't tell anyone. We always tend to update our paint colors and home decor to fit the era we live in. And as much as we love to think things are, there are very few things inside our home that are actually timeless. With the introduction of this style that's been gaining momentum, while others hate it, the question I have to ask is what comes next? We can only reinvent the island so many times before we come full circle. I could probably go on about more controversial kitchen topics, but I would have to say these are the biggest three that have personally irked me. So if you're considering a kitchen renovation or building a new home, I highly recommend considering a kitchen island for your design. It is a timeless investment that will undoubtedly add value and charm to your space. Even if you choose to have a waterfall edge, you cannot go wrong. The only thing that isn't Design Daddy approved is the double island. But I honestly need to know. So comment below if you are for kitchen islands or against them. If you like the double island, or if you have one, let me know why you love them, because I am so curious. And if you think waterfall edges are a thing of the past or they are here to stay, I need to know. I am dying because I have my own opinions, as you've already heard. I need to know yours. Be sure to like this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. You can always follow me on Instagram and TikTok for all my daily design advice and Mr. Phoenix Gray. Remember, if you're ever second guessing yourself, just think, what would Design Daddy do? Boom.